Hello class, welcome back to Religion. Let's get things started. We are going to be trying to finish up chapter 13 from a while back. Just like social studies, you'll need your notebook, your pencil, all the things you need for normal class. It's basically going to be me presenting your slides to you through a video instead of in person, okay? So you need your notebook. I would grab a separate sheet of paper in case you have any questions during this time, so that way you don't forget and you can ask me later. We are going to take some notes today, and then we'll talk about how we're moving forward with religion. So your learning objective for today is I will be able to define actual grace. Okay, I will be able to define actual grace. Now, as you take notes, at any point, if you are not done with the slide yet, just pause the video, finish up your notes, and then you can continue on. Today we are on lesson 4, our last lesson, and we are covering actual grace. Let's begin. So, actual grace. What is actual grace? It is inspirations we receive every day. It can be a temporary supernatural act of God to help us become holy. They enlighten our mind and strengthen our will. It helps us to do good and to avoid evil, and it helps us become better Christians. So these are the little moments, those little inspirations we have every day to make, good, holy decisions throughout our day of, wow, I should be really more focused during Mass today. Or maybe it helps you participate when we say the rosary. Or maybe you've been struggling and you feel inspired to try to go to confession today. Those little moments that push you towards holiness, that is actual grace. So those are little moments that give us good ideas. But again, we still have free will, so we can choose whether to take advantage of those moments or not. But those little inspirations are called actual grace. If you need to pause this video, you can do so now. Okay, so why do we need this? The need for grace. So obviously grace is essential. Remember, grace is a relationship with God. So we needed it from the beginning of our faith. Baptism is so important because that's what really starts our relationship with God again. We become adopted sons and daughters of God. It also helps us in the performance of solitary acts. Now, what is a solitary act? It is a human action that is performed under the influence of grace and that positively leads a person to heavenly destiny. So remember, just like we talked about with actual grace, it's those moments that help you to make those good decisions, that help you become holier and help you become the person God meant you to be. For final perseverance to push through to make good choices. And also, probably the hardest part is for avoiding sin, both mortal and venial. Grace is essential for all of these things. It's important to remember that we are all called to be saints. We each have different capacities of grace, but God gives each of us the ability to be filled with grace, which is called holiness. Our goal is eternal happiness with God forever in heaven. Our job is to cooperate and to receive. It's important to remember that we have to do our part. We have to take advantage of those opportunities to be able to fully receive grace, especially through the sacraments, through Holy Eucharist, through confirmation, through confession, through those sacraments that we can continuously receive and continuously grow. It's important that we take advantage of that because we are responsible for our actions. The grace is there. It's just waiting for us to work with it and to receive it. If you're not done with this slide, you may pause it. We are going to continue on. Okay, grace and free will. So, grace is necessary but not forced. Our job is to cooperate with grace and be open to receive it. It's important to remember that we still have free will, we still have that choice, and that's what makes that choice to choose to be a part of God's life that much more meaningful and beautiful, is because He's not forcing us to do it. We have that choice within it. A quote from St. Augustine: "He who created us without our help will not save us without our consent." So remember, God's not going to force you to do anything, but He's always here loving you and giving you that grace that you need. You just have to write down those 2 bullets. You don't have to write the quote, but if you're not done right now, you can pause it. And that is it. So, okay, so I do want to talk to you still, so stay with me. So here's the dealio. We just finished chapter 13. Obviously, with online learning, it does make our norm different and kind of tricky. So we are still continuing with quizzes. Just like before, quizzes are going to be open note. So tomorrow on Power School Learning, I will post questions for you, quiz questions, and you're allowed to use your notes, your resources, whatever you need, and you will answer those questions and then email them to me. Honestly, all you have to do is you can start a new email, and for the subject, you can say Chapter 13 quiz, and then just number your email and type out your answers and then send it to me. And I'll get that graded and I'll put that up on Power School. But that's just going to be how we're conducting our quizzes. So don't stress. It's just like a normal quiz. The only difference is you're typing it instead of writing it. But I highly recommend you read through your notes just to make sure you remember things and where they are. So that way your quiz won't be too tricky for you, because obviously I'm not right here when you have to raise your hand. So make sure you go through your notes tonight. I think that would be a really good idea to make sure you know where everything is and what you need to do. Okay. Yep. So just notes today. Look over your look over chapter 13, and then yeah, that'll be it. Hope you have a good day. See ya.